Hello and welcome back into the FCS Huddle. I'm your host, Elliot Schall, alongside the FCS Senior Editor for Stats, Craig Haley. And Craig, as we've talked about November, the stretch run for a lot of these teams, we've been talking about conferences, and why not talk about what we call the best conference, the Missouri Valley Conference. And that was last year's championship, the home to both of those teams, and the four-time defending champion, North Dakota State, the Bison. So what other conferences can we kind of look at to maybe make their mark this season come playoff time?
Sure. I mean, there are 10 different conferences represented in the top 25 poll right now. That's great to see, 10 out of 13. I would probably go right to the Big Sky. I mean, they've had 9 of their 13 teams in the rankings at some point. There's 4 in there right now, led by Eastern Washington, a 3-time defending champion in the Big Sky. Bo Baldwin has them positioned. They keep winning close games in the Big Sky, but it's a deep conference. Southern Utah's right there. Portland State's had a great year, beaten 2 FBS opponents, as you know. Montana trying to hang on to get a playoff bid, but there's definitely depth in that conference. Northern Arizona, Montana State, North Dakota, they're all quality teams, even if they're not in the top 25. The CAA football, I mean, that's a conference that's just as deep. Unfortunately, they've been riddled by injuries to the quarterbacks. It's never been this bad, and right now it's going to be Richmond or William & Mary winning that conference. James Madison trying to hold on after 2 losses, make the playoffs. They should. But those are probably the strongest conferences. But again, there's a lot of conferences that have very good depth. Maybe not the dominant team that we're used to seeing in conference play, but the depth teams are really, there's a lot of parity. It's great to see.
Yeah, and you talk about the Ivy League, and that's got 2 ranked teams in Harvard and Dartmouth. Would you say that's one of your surprise teams this season?
No doubt. 16 wins out of conference. That's just great for the Ivy League. But, I mean, if you look at Brown, Penn, Princeton, they're all deep teams. And we've talked before about having a veteran league. That's a veteran league, the Ivy League. But another league, the Southern Conference, that has really bounced back. They had a rough year a year ago. Obviously, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern had left. Chattanooga's the one to beat still. They're going for their 3rd straight title. The Citadel's right there. It's a conference that's done well against other conferences this year. Great depth there. Furman, Sanford, just Western Carolina is a quality team. So those are probably the ones that have really bounced back this year, doing well. Great to see so many good conferences.
Definitely. And hey, to stay on top of everything with the conference rankings, and as the season's kind of winding down, and you guys watch these conference title races, be sure to stay on top of things. Like I said, on the website fcs.football, also on Twitter at FCS_stats, and Craig Haley on Twitter as well at Craig Haley. All great things to follow and stay up to date on everything FCS. I'm Elliot Schall. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you for watching.